Welcome back to Wellington, where the scoreline isn't what the home crowd would have been hoping for. New Zealand at 19, Netherlands 23. New Zealand ranked number 8 in the world. Netherlands down at number 15 in this Paralympic qualification tournament for wheelchair rugby. 3 spots up for grabs. Jai Waite alongside me. What have you identified from the first half? You reckon that maybe Hayden Barton-Coote doesn't quite seem to be his usual energetic self?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if he should carry the ball a bit more stronger. Like when he's pushing and like going fast up court, he's a handful. And I think a bit more time on the ball with HBC, and there'll be a bit of a change of change in the scoreline.
We are back underway. We have 16 minutes for the Dutch to hold out or for New Zealand to turn it around.
And score there from HBC. HBC just breaking through that Dutch defence.
So the advantage of the first possession of this third quarter for New Zealand. Obviously the next possession will go the way of the Dutch. So either the next held ball or the start of the fourth quarter. So New Zealand still with it all to do.
And nice controlled play there again. Van der Dop.
New Zealand starting the second half with Cameron Leslie, Hayden Barton-Coote, Gavin Rolton and Maya Marshall-Armai. There she is, throwing that one out. Oh, that's lucky because it went off a Dutch wheel. That's a couple of times that I think Marshall-Armai has left Barton-Coote a little bit too much to do. He's got a huge wingspan, but there's a limit to what he can corral.
It's just finding that range again after that halftime break. Yep, nice quick score. Now transition fast onto defense. This is good. This is what you want. This will turn things around. If the Kiwis can really bring that change of tempo on transitioning from scoring to defending.
And maybe hold their nerve as well.
Yeah.
You were saying, Jai, that playing in front of your home crowd, 99% of the time it's an away tournament, and then suddenly you've got the weight of expectation being at home, and maybe the nerves showing towards the end of that second quarter.
Yeah. It is. It's a different pressure. Wheelchair rugby, we're often just tournaments in one country.
The Dutch get it back to a 4-point advantage. Can Leslie get there in time? Just about. He got there, but it bounced off the front of his chair, and he managed to get that in again with that incredible trunk flexibility and strength that he has. But the Dutch again.
Oh, good defense, Maya Amai. 4 in the key. Just like what I was saying earlier, you can only have 3 defenders in that white key area that you see there at the end of the court. Gavin Rolton entering the zone, so he goes to the bin for a minute or until the Dutch score.
So the Dutch now 4 on 3. This almost plays into the hands of the Dutch. They were in possession, and now they've got time to run down the clock. Obviously we're barely into the second half, but they are 3 points to the good and have possession, so every second that they can take off the clock.
Penalty goal.
Hayden Barton-Coote going over the try line.
Actually, no, that was not a penalty goal because they weren't in a scoring motion, so Kiwis now have 2 in the bin. So the Dutch will take their time here. They'll score this, and they'll look to trap maybe Gavin Rolton up high.
So as you can see, just to the left of your screen there, 2 in the bin. Hayden Barton-Coote and Gavin Rolton. So it's 4 on 2. The Dutch set themselves up and decide to block.
Yeah.
Cameron Leslie for the forthcoming play. So they're 4 points, still 4 points up. They've taken 2 minutes off the clock.
So Kiwis now under a contact warning. So it is full chair contact, but only once the whistle goes. So outside the ball coming in, you can't, the whistle going, you can't. Oh, big ball, can she get it? Turnover, Dutch. Wow, they're really bringing it.
It's all getting a bit unravelled for the Kiwis here, and we're going to see Maya Marshall-Armai go off, and Nafi Lefono has come back on. The Dutch with the inbound, this to make it a 5-point advantage. And of course, it's still 4-on-3. Rolton's been allowed out of the sin bin.
Now we're back.
Hayden Barton-Coots was in there, and he's now out. That scoreboard, unfortunately, is a little bit flattering, and it's turnover after turnover. It's all going wrong for New Zealand at the moment.
Yeah, just a bit of lack of communication there, I think. Don't think Lefono was expecting the ball back quite as soon as he was.
I was going to say, well, surely we need a coach's timeout here, and that was the hooter that you heard. So 1 minute in which to try to calm down this Wheel Black side that has seen it all go wrong in the first 2.5 minutes of this third quarter. Jai, you'll have been in this position before. What do they need to do?
Yeah, I think right now they'll be talking about how they can really put some pressure on the Dutch in their backcourt. Because, you know, the Kiwis are carrying a big squad here. The Dutch are smaller, so what they really want to do is work the Dutch over so they get tired. Because you can pull these goals back in that fourth quarter. That's what the Kiwis will be really looking to do here.
Well, we have some Dutch fans in the crowd.
Yeah. They're looking a bit tense, but they should be in the good spot at the moment. There's definitely a bit of tension in the air here.
Credit to the Dutch entourage that have made it all this way down here. But a lot is going to be asked of that man, Cameron Leslie. The Dutch yet again with an inbound. 5 points clear in what's been a low-scoring contest. Everyone's been made to work for the goals. And that's the case here.
And player leaving the court. So, again, it was good pressure by the Dutch. They identified that Lefono had done some really great work in there inside the key, but he was in a vulnerable position. So they made sure they hit him so he went over that baseline. So, again, you cannot cross that baseline if you're not scoring.
This is grist to the mill for the Dutch. This is around 4 possessions in a row where they've eaten up time on the clock, and then a New Zealander has been sent to the sin bin. So again, that resets the shot clock, at least partially, takes time off the clock. And it's preventing New Zealand from scoring as well. It's a 6-point game now.
Now there's been a contact. I think there's a contact warning now on the Dutch team. Number 8, Van der Laan. And quick score there by the Kiwis. Now this is the time. Transition fast. Pick up your man. This is good. Leslie needs to be on top of 14 there because he can go one-on-one with him. Stay on top. That's what he needs to do.
It's a different style of defence that we're now seeing from the Kiwis. Swarming, a full court press as opposed to sitting back in the key.
Leslie doing a great job there. Look, he's really held up that play. And look at that. Oh, timeout Dutch. Great hit there by Lefono.
Lefono managed to push Van der Laan, I think it was, out of play, and it forced just before he was going out of play. Number 8, Van der Laan, he called a timeout to make sure that it wasn't a turnover in favour of New Zealand. That being said, it gives the Kiwis 30 seconds in which to discuss tactics, take a breath. Loma it will be with the inbound. The Kiwis need to stop the Dutch from scoring on this possession. We've gone from a 4-point gap at the start of the third quarter to potentially 6 points here. And it is indeed 6 points.
Yeah, European teams, they love key attack. This is their bread and butter. You see there, Hayden Barton-Coots just waiting for Lefono to get free. Nuffy.
Oh, that was close, but Lefono manages to pick up that pass. They were desperate to get the ball over the halfway line within the 12 seconds that you're allowed. New Zealand, and just about managed to do it.
They need to. I don't think the Kiwis can afford to go back to key defense here. They're really chasing the game now, so they need to keep this full court press happening.
Yes, as you say, Jay, European teams tend to like to attack key defenses, and also if you sit back in the key, then you're allowing your opponents to take time off the clock.
Exactly, exactly.
Halfway through the third quarter, a 6-point game, New Zealand with it all to do.
HBC now with the ball.
That's going to go nowhere, and it's going to be picked up by Van den Dop. It's another turnover.
And the Dutch, 7 points up. HBC just waiting for a screen. There we go, good pick by Rolton. Kiwis got some subs up. They're waiting for a chance to bring on some fresh players.
Substitutions have to be when it's a dead ball. So not merely when a try has been scored. A 7-point deficit. Barton-Coots goes this way and that, pops one over the top, and he knows that Leslie will be able to get onto the end of that.
Quick score, need to transition. And the Kiwis falling back on key. I'm just not quite sure this is the right move right now. I think they really need to keep that pressure on the Dutch.
Less than 3 minutes left in the third quarter. 6 points to the good, and in possession, you'd say that this is the Netherlands' match to lose right now. Can New Zealand wrest back the initiative? They need some sort of spark, they need some sort of big play.
Yeah.
And then you see Van den Dop reversing over the line for yet another point.
That's a good screen by Lefono. There we go, HBC's free now, on the run. And Rolton with the score.
I think most people were looking at Leslie, and I thought he'll never catch up with that, but he was into the lap of Rolton.
Waikanai man. Good patient pushing there by Van den Dop.
Takes his time. Time is the enemy of the Kiwis at the moment. And the Dutch, to the manner born here, they are playing some very, very calm rugby.
Yeah. They've been so impressive. Oh, I think we might have a foul here on Van der Laan. Again, a holding foul. Can't touch the body of the opposing player.
So this finally allows New Zealand to make some substitutions. On comes Dan Buckingham, a three-pointer. Maya Marshall Armai is back on as well.
So Dan, former teammate of mine for Athens Paralympics and Beijing Paralympics.
Means that Hayden Barton-Coots has gone off, but to me he's got a rather lethargic figure, particularly in this second half. He hasn't had his usual spark.
Buckingham will bring just something different from the Kiwis at the moment, I think.
In terms of classification, it's a like for like. Buckingham and Barton-Coots both three-pointers. Marshall Armai on for Lefono.
And again, nice, quick score.
Well, we're now getting into that almost last-minute territory where time management is going to be a question, but the main thing is, there we go.
Yeah.
We finally have a turnover. The main thing is scoring points. Getting turnovers and scoring points. That's exactly what the Wheel Blacks need to do now. It's all they need to do. They desperately need turnovers and they desperately need points.
And again, every time they just change their lineup just even slightly, it just gives the Dutch something different to think about. Leslie really trying to work his way through. Will he get through?
Needs to get just a caster over the line, and he does it.
Oh, they gave him that score. He really had to fight. The Dutch trying to challenge the call. Kiwis back within 5.
And no key defense now. They're swarming around now. Full court press. What can Raya
Great
do?
defense, Amai. Now the Dutch are going to try and run this down for a last to score here. They'll really run out the clock. They've got the ball the next quarter, so they'll want to score last here.
They've also got a timeout if they need to take it, but I think they're okay. I think the shot clock is the same as the time clock. You can hear them. Oh no, they're counting down, so now they're going to take the timeout. So they got to within 15 seconds, and the shot clock was about to expire. And the fact that Van den Dop took that timeout means that the shot clock will be reset to 15, making it the same as the game clock. So they now have 15 seconds, or 14.5 seconds, in which to score, get the last score of the quarter, and then they will have possession at the start of the final quarter, which could make it. It's 5 points the difference at the moment. If they score here and at the start of the final quarter, that would make it 7 points. This is a huge play for the Kiwis here.
And this is great. This is exactly what they need to do, is come out and surprise them. Press them, press them, press them. The Dutch have been liking them sitting back. Again, see.
A turnover.
Pressure.
Leslie gets a hand in there absolutely perfectly. So, can New Zealand reduce the deficit? Can they score in the next 10.4 seconds?
And Todd.
Michael Todd has come on, the number 8. He's the one who's going to have the inbound.
Subs went up, so Todd will have to, I think he has to stay on. I don't think the subs are up on the bench at the time. So the subs have to be declared before the plays, before the whistle's gone, which it had not. So
they have to be ready to come on. So, waiting for the inbound. The clock will start once it's touched, and the Dutch have got possession back. Leslie tries to steal it again.
Well, the Kiwis did pull it back, but big quarter coming up.
So, the Dutch lead by 5 points going into the final 3-minute break. It's the final quarter of this opening Group B match. New Zealand with it all to do. They have 8 minutes to overcome a 5-point deficit. The Dutch have played perfect rugby thus far, and they have the possession arrow, so they have the first possession going into this final quarter. Paralympic qualification up for grabs. The first 3 in this 8-team tournament will make it to Paris. The rest will just have to watch on TV, and New Zealand certainly hoping that that is not the fate that befalls them. The Dutch make it a 6-point game.
Loma's come up with a couple of those big scores today. Just that option right at the last. He's really helped them out of trouble. Yes, so the Dutch on their second contact, you get 1 contact warning, we call it a free contact each quarter, each half. And the Dutch were already on a warning for contact before the whistle. So Van der Laan will spend the next minute in the bin or until Cameron scores here. And
he's going to score very quickly because they absolutely need to. Why they not that quickly, because he wants to make sure that they're putting a trap on Van der Laan so he can't get out of the sin bin unless he calls and says he will do the inbound. And that, I do believe, is what he has done. So Van der Laan, to spring the trap, has said, I will do the inbound, but that means that a 2.5-pointer is doing the inbound, and he's off the court. So you've only got 5.5 points on the court.
Good defense. This is great. Oh, still Dutch ball, but still good defense.
It's good defense. New Zealand don't get the ball, but it doesn't reset the shot clock as far as the Dutch are concerned. So it means they're still, it's time critical for them.
Mai fighting all the way to the last. Oh. Great hustle.
Six points, 7 minutes. That is the equation for the Kiwis.
Gavin Rolton long. There goes the big one.
Is he going to make it to him?
And he takes the hit. Now, Rolton's a 0.5, so he doesn't have the arm and hand function to just get the ball away easily like a Myra Mai or a Hayden Barton-Coots. Rolton, a C5 quadriplegic, so that means he had an injury on the 5th vertebrae on his neck. Oh, no goal. That little fumble. So, again, he crossed the line without actually having control of the ball.
One of his wheels was over the line without Rolton being in full possession of the ball. So that means it's an inbound from the sideline. New Zealand need to get the ball back as soon as possible. 12 seconds for the Dutch to get over the halfway line, so they're going to throw one out now. Leslie's going to get there. The only problem is this is taking time off the clock.
It was great work there by Bullzone. Again, the Dutch just so good at that key attack. Just amazing.
The passes they have managed to throw out to the likes of Hector Loma and then Job van der Laan, the number 8 there. Loma, well, doesn't manage the turnover, but they won't mind that. It's time taken off the clock. It's another inbound and an awkward inbound from the sideline.
Corners are one of the hardest places to inbound from. You can see the baseline, the corner, the sideline. It's hard to get out of this position.
Need to get the ball over the halfway line within 12 seconds. It's a timeout or a Hail Mary, and it's a timeout, and you can see the way the Dutch are celebrating the fact that New Zealand have taken their final timeout. 7 minutes, sorry, 7 points, 5.5 minutes to go. It's becoming an even more uphill battle as every second ticks off the clock here.
It's more than a turnover a minute, so the Kiwis will really have to hustle from here. Kiwis have made a change here. Buckingham back on.
Buckingham on, Barton Coots off. Leslie with it all to do.
And just didn't quite catch that, Mai.
Nothing going right today for the Kiwis. An awkward corner inbound for Loma, but he won't mind that. If anything, they can afford to run down the clock 40 seconds at a time, but they're just inexorably scoring, the Dutch.
He's being so strong today, Loma. Just when they need him, he's being there, just taking those goals, you know, being available for the pass. Buckingham, good control. Oh.
Possession remains with New Zealand, but they're 8 points adrift with just under 5 minutes to go.
You know, a game like this, Drew, just really shows what getting to a Paralympics means to these teams. You know, like the Dutch have just really brought it today. It just shows what they, you know, like as the Kiwis are and all the teams here, they just really want those last 3 spots.
Watching this, Germany will be licking their lips. So a turnover in terms of time and shot clock, and it's all going the way of the Dutch. So the 2 finalists from this tournament will make it through to the Paralympics, as will the winner of the bronze medal match. And the favourites are Australia and Canada. And then the bronze medal match, well, before the tournament, people were thinking New Zealand, Germany, maybe Brazil. Now it looks like New Zealand are going to be relying on Brazil to do them a favour.
Now this is the lineup I've been looking to see come out here for the Kiwis. This is their 3-3-1-1. This might just bring something slightly different the Dutch haven't seen. So this is good.
Cameron Leslie has gone off. Hayden Barton Coots back on. He's there with Daniel Buckingham. So 2 3-pointers and 2 1-pointers. 4 minutes to go. A 9-point deficit though.
This is good. Hayden Barton Coots on the charge. This is great. This is the sort of stuff. This is a good changer.
Quick scores. Quick scores, quick turnovers. It's not over yet. The problem is New Zealand are going to have to take real risks. They're going to have to put the arm in there.
Well, this could be a chance.
Fouls.
Oh, great take. Bazan. Such a good take under pressure.
It was Ben Bazan, a 1-pointer, and the fact that he managed to lean forward and take that ball. Barton Coots telling his teammates to get forward. Buckingham finds himself hemmed in, gives it back to Barton Coots. He's going to go this way and that, but he's got Van der Laan with him for company. Every second counting against the Kiwis and in favour of the Dutch.
And back to HBC. Looking for Lynch. Lynch again, a 1-pointer. He can't get the ball away quite as well as the others. And Buckingham scores. Well,
now looking at the scoreboard, it's an 8-point game, and you think that there's no way the Kiwis can turn it around from here, so every point may well count. If New Zealand can beat Brazil and Brazil beat the Dutch, then everyone will be on 1 win and 2 defeats. If you assume that Canada get the best of the other teams in the group, and then it comes down to a point count back. And if the Dutch end up beating New Zealand by 9 points, that will be a huge deficit to overcome.
And Everson's long here. See, the other difference this lineup brings out right now is 2 pick bars. You'll see that the chairs are slightly all different. So there's chairs that are longer, they've got these bars at the front that are designed to like pick the other chair and hold them. So the Kiwis with Lynch and Everson have the ability to pick and hold chairs in this lineup.
Getting down towards the final 2 minutes. The Dutch with an 8-point lead. The Dutch happy to run down time on the clock. Van den Dop over the top, and yet again Van den Dop, Van der Laan, Loma have been so good with the key attack. A coach's timeout taken. Gavin Rolton and Greg Mitchell will have some advice for their players, but look at the smile on the face of Martin van Hinten. What a performance it's been from his team. A reminder that the Dutch are the lowest ranked team at this event. 8 teams involved, and they are 15th in the world. We've got Australia at number 2, Canada number 5, the favourites, New Zealand number 8, 3rd highest ranked team at this tournament. But they find themselves backs to the wall, and we have a debut for Jacinta Richardson. She's come on, and there she is. Can she corral this one before the line? Yes, she can. That's great for her. It's great for New Zealand. Every point could end up being crucial if we have a count back. It's a 4-team group. The top 2 go through to the semis, so New Zealand not out of this yet. They'll either need a miracle against Canada or a victory over Brazil, and then Brazil to do them some favours and beat the Dutch. But every point is going to count here, so they need to keep on fighting right to the very end. And the key attack for the Dutch, once again, the way the Northern Hemisphere teams, particularly the Europeans, love to play. You see it so often with the French. Jonathan Hivernin, Sébastien Verdun. Those little passes over the top into the key. Richardson fires one forward, but to no one in particular. The Dutch are going to take the time. And we're going to get a turnover. So that hopeful ball from Richardson has ended up paying off. It was a held ball, and now possession for New Zealand. They're not going to be able to win this game, but every point is going to count on the count back. Two more matches to come for New Zealand after this one, against Brazil and against Canada. They're playing Brazil on Thursday, Canada on Friday. The Dutch running down the clock. You can hear the entourage counting down. The Dutch use their final floor timeout. That will reset the shot clock to 15 seconds. And I'm pretty sure they will quite happily put the ball in their laps and nurse this win over the line. What a performance it's been from the Dutch. Struggled at the European Championships that were held in May in Cardiff at the Principality Stadium, or it was the Millennium Stadium alongside the Arms Park, the legendary rugby union venue. And the Dutch finished 6th overall. They lost to Switzerland in the 5th and 6th place playoff, but they're belying their lowly status, 15th in the world. You can hear their entourage counting down. So New Zealand with one last possession. Prior to that, we're going to have to get, I think it's van der Laan, back on 2 wheels. They've only used 5 players today in what is a small squad, and they could well end up being very tired as this tournament wears on, but they won't worry about that. A final Hail Mary, but it comes to nothing, and the Netherlands have created the first upset of this Paralympic qualifying tournament, defeating the host nation, New Zealand, 44-36. A great performance from them. They only really used 5 players, but those 5 players, Ben Bazoun, Joop van der Laan, Davy van den Dop, Hector Loma, and Joop van der Laan, incredible performance from them. The Kiwis ran through much of their lineup, tried various line changes, but nothing seemed to come off. The line changes worked for maybe a minute or 2 at a time and gave the Dutch something else to think about. But the Dutch really had a game plan. New Zealand preferring to go key defence and have all 4 of their players defending back in front of the key, and that seemed to play into the hands of the Dutch, who love to attack an opposing key. And you saw the number of passes over the top to van der Laan. Davy van den Dop, the number 14, number 42, Hector Loma. It was a great game plan from Martin van Hinten. And the Dutch, well, they get themselves top of Group B, the other 2 teams being Brazil and Canada. So that is the flag that is flying proudly at the moment. New Zealand now with it all to do, playing Brazil on Thursday at 12:30, and then Canada on Friday at 3:30. Martin van Hinten with a big hug for Joop van der Laan. All the focus on the Dutch team, as well it might be. Oranje boven. The Oranges are on top. Applause for the crowd from the Kiwis, and there's a big crowd that's come here to the NZCIS, but they're going to go home disappointed today. It's not over yet for New Zealand, but now the Dutch can dream of a semi-final spot. And then who knows, if they win that semi-final, they will find themselves going to Paris. So, Germany 58, Colombia 51 was the first match of the day. Australia 60, Switzerland 40. And then, well, we've just seen New Zealand 36, Netherlands 44. The final match of the day will be the other 2 Group B teams, Canada versus Brazil. And that will be in 1 hour's time. So the top 4 teams are in Group A, the bottom 4 in Group B. New Zealand, the Netherlands, Canada, Brazil. Canada, the favourites to top Group B. So the Dutch in the box seat as far as Group B is concerned, and New Zealand with it all to do. And we're going to hear from one of their players now, who is down talking to my fellow commentator, Jai Waite. And it's Cody Everson.
Cody, tough game first up. The Dutch really brought it today.
Yeah, the Dutch played really well. You know, we had our plans coming into the game, and unfortunately for us, they just got out there and played a little bit better.
Those 4 trunk players out there, really tough to get on top of, right?
Yeah, honestly, it's the first time a lot of us have played them, and we didn't expect them to turn that quick and to be that strong, and unfortunately we didn't adjust. But you know, we've got to move forward from here and think about the next one. It's not over yet.
Yep. 2 more games tomorrow. The Brazilians looking for a big one.
Yeah, us New Zealanders, we like to make it tough on ourselves. So, you know, we're going to give it our best, and we're going to go out there and we're going to, you know, do New Zealand proud and do ourselves proud. So, yeah.
Awesome. Good luck, man. Cheers.
Cody Everson there. New Zealand facing Brazil, who finished 3rd in the Parapan Games, got bronze medal in the Parapan Games behind USA and Canada. But let's now hear from a member of the Dutch team, and Jai Waite has got Job van der Laan. No, he's got Davy van den Dop with him.
Davy, congratulations. Good win.
Yeah, it was a very tough battle because we didn't know what to expect. We know they're very good, the Wheel Blacks. But in the end, we played like mature, so it was freaking nice. So yeah, it was nice.
And from that game, up tomorrow, you've got the Canadians. Big plans there?
Yeah, they're very high up in the world's ranking. We haven't played them before, but like New Zealand, we maybe surprised them. But we gave our best that game, so yeah.
Well, go celebrate and enjoy. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Cheers.
I like that from Davy van den Dop. He said, we were mature, and it was freaking good. So how about that? All in one sentence. And that sums up the Dutch today. A mature performance from them, and it was indeed freaking good. So that puts Netherlands top of Group B. New Zealand with it all to do, but they will be able to turn it around against Brazil when they take them on Thursday, and that match will be at 12:30. In the meantime, the final match of the day here will be between Brazil and Canada, and that starts at 6 o'clock.